the Leyland Lynx. While it never achieved the same iconic status of its predecessor, the National, it is quite unique in its own right. However, one overlooked aspect of this bus is that it may have a long-lost American cousin. This is the story of the Leyland Lynx and its possible influence from a Flxible. Hi, this is Jeffrey, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Leyland Lynx. Now, the Lynx was the successor to the very iconic Leyland National. Now, while the Lynx never achieved the same status as the National, it's still a very interesting bus in its own right. Now, in this video, we're going to go over the history, the design, and the specifications of the Leyland Lynx, and also we're going to take a look at the link that the Lynx may have to an American transit bus that appeared in the late 1970s. So, let's get started in taking a look at the Leyland Lynx. The Leyland Lynx, also designated the B60, was designed in 1984 as a replacement for the aging Leyland National, being unveiled at the 1985 International Bus and Coach Exhibition at the Earls Court Exhibition Center. Following a trend set by the National, the new bus was also an integral design of pure Leyland content. The Lynx differed from the National in many ways, though key components such as the choice of engine from Leyland or Gardner and the semi-auto gearbox were carried over. The main differences were the extensive use of aluminum in body construction and bonded glazing, whereas the National was an all-steel design using traditional gasket rubbers for the windows. The usage of alloy gave a considerable improvement in unladen weight, the obvious payoff being good fuel consumption and better performance. Production vehicles began to enter service in 1986. The majority were bodied by Leyland at its Workington factory where the underframe was produced. All have a step entrance, and Leyland offered the option of a floor with a step in the middle or one that gently ramped from aft of the front platform to the rear. A plan for offering this bus with a single-piece flat windscreen was considered but not built. A common feature, therefore, is that the Lynx has two separate windscreens and has the driver's windscreen raked back, resembling 1950s single-decker buses and the right handy bus, as well as an American transit bus we shall learn about in a few minutes. The Transport Act of 1985, which brought about bus deregulation in the mid-1980s, caused chaos, uncertainty, and great turbulence in the marketplace as operators purchased used vehicles to fight off competition in the bus wars that took place up and down the land. And so the launch of the new Lynx in 1986, while looking back to that era, could not have come at a worse time. Competition was growing, and minibuses were now the buzzword as operators did their best to stave off their rivals by penetrating the areas where big buses feared to tread. The basic specifications of the Lynx were: Number 1, length was either 11 or 12 meters. Number 2, the width was 2.5 meters and height was 3.2 meters. Number 3, its engine was a choice of A, the Leyland TL11, B, the Gardner 6HL XCT, C, the Cummins L10, or D, the Volvo THD102KF, but only for the Lynx Mark II. Number 4, its transmission was either A, the Leyland Hydrocyclic Semi-Automatic, or the B, ZF Ecomat Automatic. In 1990, the updated Lynx Mark II version was introduced. It could be recognized easily by its protruding front dash and grille panel, while the original design was flat. Additionally, a select few of these buses had Volvo engines, which experienced drastically reduced performance in pursuit of more environmentally friendly engines. The Mark II was also available as a bus underframe for other coach builders to body besides Leyland. 7 chassis were bodied by Alexander with N-type bodywork for City Bus of Belfast, including the first prototype. The Lynx saw service all over the UK, with the largest fleet owned by West Midlands Travel. A total of 258 Lynxes were purchased, including 6 demonstrators that were delivered early in 1986. They were gradually withdrawn from 2000 onwards, with the last 3 withdrawn from passenger service in March 2009, although 10 remained in the driver training fleet until March of 2010. Another significant operator of Leyland Lynxes were Kildare Group companies West Riding and Yorkshire Woolen. The companies purchased 129 Mark I and Mark II Lynxes, new or second-hand, until late 1991, replacing former National Bus Company vehicles as part of a yearly fleet replacement program. Other Kildare Group operators who purchased Leyland Lynxes included Tees and District and United Automobile Services, while elsewhere in the northeast of England, Cleveland Transit, Busways Travel Services, and Go Ahead Northern also took delivery of Lynxes. Lothian Regional Transport took delivery in 1991 of 12 Lynxes uniquely built with dual doors. The last 2 Lynxes to roll off the production line entered service with Halton Transport in August of 1992. The Lynx was the core of Halton Transport's fleet for over 10 years. Following the takeover of Leyland by Volvo in March 1988, the Lynx was superseded by the Volvo B10B in 1992. Total production of Lynxes was approximately 1,060 vehicles, including 6 prototypes, one of which was not bodied, and several development vehicles. About 140 of the total were Lynx Mark IIs. What is interesting about the design of the Leyland Lynx is that it bears a striking resemblance to the American Grumman Flxible 870 transit bus and its later incarnation, the Flxible Metro. The 870 was introduced in 1978 and ended production as the Metro in 1995. With its space-age design, it was meant to compete with the GM RTS. When you compare the Lynx to the original 870 model, you see a number of similarities, including number 1, the angled back driver's side windscreen. Number 2, the rounded corners at the bottom of the windscreen. Number 3, the bonded frameless window glazing of the side windows. Number 4, the rectangular window vents at the top of the side windows. And number 5, the boxy rectangular appearance of the entire bus. While no official connection between the Leyland Lynx and the Grumman Flxible 870 could be found, it would be odd to think that the similarities would just be a pure coincidence. Looking further afield, a small number of Lynxes were exported as demonstrators, but no sales ever resulted. In 1984, a framed chassis was sent to Australia. After being completed by J.W. Bolton in Perth, it operated for Transperth, Action, and Hornibrook bus lines before being sold to Lever Coach Lines in 1987. In 1988, Singapore Bus Service took delivery of a Walter Alexander-bodied Leyland Lynx. It was involved in an accident in August of 2001 and had its original Lynx-style front replaced with an Alexander PS-type style and scrapped in 2005. Conversely, one Leyland Tiger received a Lynx-style Leyland body for export to New Zealand. In 1990, 3 of the Lynxes being built for West Midlands Travel were sent to Australia as demonstrators. 2 operated with action, while the third was demonstrated to the State Transport Authority and State Transit Authority before all 3 were sold to South Trans. Several Lynxes have now entered preservation, with some requiring extensive rebuilding to bring them back to original condition due to body corrosion, as well as reversing modifications made by operators during their history, especially the replacement of the square wheel arches with non-patterned round ones. In Australia, the J.W. Bolton bodied demonstrator has been preserved by the Sydney Bus Museum. With the right livery, the Lynx could often be considered an attractive, modern-looking bus, although a somewhat forgotten one today. So, there it is, the story of the Leyland Lynx, the bus that had a very hard act to follow, especially coming right after the Leyland National. Now, whether or not the Leyland Lynx was influenced by the Grumman Flxible 870, I don't know. If anybody knows if that was the case, that would be great. And if you have any experience with the Leyland Lynx, if you actually remember riding it, that would be great to hear about also. Or if you operated one, that would be great to hear. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Leyland Lynx. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.